Do you know how much money you spent last month? Do you know what you spent your money on? Do you know what your spending trigger is? All of us have a spending trigger. Even savers have a spending trigger. The key to managing and controlling our spending habits is by identifying what our spending trigger is. For me personally, my spending trigger is emotional spending, which goes along the same lines as emotional eating. Anytime I'm super stressed or upset or dealing with some very intense emotion, I want to spend money. It drives me to spend money. Compounded by the fact of the ease of online shopping, I can easily wreck our budget. I can go through money like nobody's business, buying a bunch of crap I don't need anytime I am severely in distress. Anytime I'm really upset, I can just go insane and crazy and shop until I drop, almost literally. But maybe your spending trigger has nothing to do with emotions. Maybe your spending trigger is the fear of missing out. Maybe every time you get one of those sales emails in your inbox and you're like, oh my God, this is the last day I have the opportunity to get 20% off of this thing. Oh my God, I gotta have this, I gotta have this. Maybe that's your spending trigger. Or maybe your spending trigger is having a really deep discounted coupon. Back when I was really into couponing, I used to buy things that we didn't need and that we didn't want just because I had a coupon for it. Maybe that's your spending trigger. Maybe it's the thrill of the chase of saving all that extra money. Maybe that's your spending trigger. Maybe your spending trigger is a couple of different ones, and it might change over time. You may have a spending trigger in one season that you don't end up having in another season. But the key to identifying that spending trigger is by tracking your spending. So I'm going to give you a challenge, and that challenge is to keep track for the next 30 days, your spending. You just rolled your eyes, didn't you? You're going, oh my God. That's going to be so hard. Why do I got to do this? I don't really want to do this. What? I got to write down everything I'm spending. Come on now, lady. That's just no. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. I ain't got time like that. Okay. I get it. I totally get it. But the key to figuring out your spending trigger and the key to figuring out how much it is that you're actually spending every month is tracking your expenses. Most importantly, tracking them when they happen. And so for 30 days, just 30 days out of your life, 30 days out of 365 days out of the year, you can afford to spend 30 days doing this exercise. I want you to track your spending. I want you to get, just a simple small notebook, even just a pad of paper, whatever. Keep it in your car, keep it at your computer. If you do a lot of online shopping, keep your notepad with you at all times and track in your little notebook the date of the transaction, what it is that you bought, how much it was, and most importantly, write down why it is that you made that purchase and write down any emotions that go along with it. Now, the key to finding out if you're an emotional spender is when you write down those emotions and you start noticing that each time you had an intense emotion, like you were really upset, you were really mad at somebody, or, you were very sad or depressed, and you went and you spent money, that more than likely signals that you're an emotional spender, especially if you keep repeating that same pattern. Now, maybe you didn't feel any emotions. Maybe it was just you were bored. Maybe you were, on your lunch break and you were just walking around window shopping and then you spent money. Well, if you keep doing that almost every single time and your reaction is, or your reason for doing it is because you're bored, chances are your spending trigger is boredom. Every time you're bored, you go and you spend money. So this is how you're going to figure out what those spending triggers are. And you're also going to see exactly how much money it is that you're spending every single month. Every single month, you'll see how much you're spending because you're tracking it. So for 30 days, track your spending. Write down the amounts and start tallying up category by category how much you spent. It's extremely eye-opening. You will figure out exactly how much it is you spend on groceries, how much it is that you spend when you don't really need to, just because your spending trigger made you do it. And once you've recognized your spending trigger, then you can start controlling it, actively managing it. And you can set up parameters, things that, if all of a sudden you start tripping yourself up and that trigger's happening and you're spending the money, you can stop yourself. And so if you want to keep from wrecking your budget every month and you want to make sure that you always have more money coming in than going out, take part in this 30-day challenge and track your spending. Make it a priority and figure out exactly where your money goes every single month and why it's going in the places that it's going.